Well, Newcastle United have announced the news that Callum Wilson will not be at Newcastle United next season. He has decided not to remain at Newcastle, look for pastures new elsewhere. And I think really from Newcastle's end, I think it was a player that Eddie Howe wanted to hold on to. He did value the experience and the guile that Callum Wilson brings to Newcastle, and obviously a proven goal record as well. But I think of late, probably more of a story of frustration really with injuries for Callum Wilson. Yes, he was available for the second half of the season, but I think he just couldn't really get going to the levels that he'd kind of been at before at Newcastle. Obviously 49 goals in the locker, no one will ever take that away from him, and the fact he wore the number 9 shirt with sort of great responsibility, I thought, down the years. And I think for me, moving forward, whoever comes in now, I would say that Alexander Isak is going to stay here, and the fact that Alexander Isak is the senior striker, he will step up responsibility. But I think Newcastle will look to bring in another striker. They have to in some ways with the Champions League around the corner. Will Asula obviously still on the books and still a very decent option for Newcastle. But Callum Wilson, end of an era really at Newcastle. I think he played, as I say, with that responsibility and the understanding of what the number 9 shirt really meant. And he wanted to be here and he wanted to, do it for the fans. And I think his first season really was behind closed doors because of lockdown, and these were difficult times for Newcastle, and certainly difficult times for the players, where they kind of had to raise the game a little bit more because of no crowd. But most of Callum Wilson's early goals were scored in front of empty stands here, so I think he really appreciated it after he left, after the lockdown finished and the crowds returned here to St James's Park. So yeah, great striker, and one that I've enjoyed watching and reporting on, and good luck to him whatever he does next. And I'm pretty sure he'll be remembered as a real cult hero here at Newcastle United, and third top in the goal scoring chart. That doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, and so it proved that those scenes at the end of the season when Callum Wilson sort of was pushed to the front to go round the pitch and milk the applause after that Everton game, so it proved to be his last act on the hallowed turf behind me here. And we're now day 1 of pre-season, and Newcastle dressing room knows where they stand. The number 9 shirt will be vacant, and will also be a players committee available, so we'll see who fills that very soon.